Tamutu.
It's Matamu Extra! Welcome to the Matamu Extra segment. Let me start with a fairy tale. If you remember in the last extra, I mentioned a bean-related fairy tale. That was Jack and the Beanstalk. Now today I want to touch on a porridge-related one. That is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Now this story was originally titled The Story of the Three Bears. It's a 19th century British fairy tale, of which 3 versions exist. In the original version, a not so polite old woman enters the forest home of 3 bachelor bears while they were away. She eats some of their porridge, sits on one of their chairs and breaks it, then sleeps in one of their beds. When the bears return and discover her, she wakes up, jumps out of the window and is never seen again. The second version replaces the old one with a little girl named Goldilocks. And in the third and best known version, of course, the original bear trio, which were bachelors, is replaced with Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear, who is actually not an infant, but rather a small cub. Now, the premise of the best-known version is that the bears make breakfast, then go on a walk because it's too hot to eat. We all understand how hot porridge burns on the way down, yeah? The story makes extensive use of the literary rule of 3, featuring 3 chairs, 3 bowls of porridge, 3 beds, and 3 title characters who live in the house. There are also 3 sequences of the bears discovering in turn that someone has been eating from their porridge, sitting in their chairs, and finally lying in the beds, at which point is the climax of Goldilocks being discovered. Now, this follows 3 earlier sequences of Goldilocks trying the bowls of porridge, chairs, and beds successively, each time finding the third just right. An author called Christopher Booker characterizes this as a dialectical 3. Where the first is the wrong way, the second is another or the opposite way, and only the third in the middle is just right. Now, Booker also says that this idea that the way forward lies in finding an exact middle path between opposites is of extreme importance in storytelling, and the concept has spread across many other disciplines, particularly developmental psychology, biology, economics, and engineering, where it's called the Goldilocks principle. This is about to get very, very interesting. In planetary astronomy, a planet that's orbiting its sun at just the right distance for liquid water to exist on its surface that's neither too hot nor too cold is referred as to being in the Goldilocks zone. And if you remember that not too hot, not too cold was in reference to the porridge, yeah? And as Stephen Hawking put it, like Goldilocks, the development of intelligent life requires that planetary temperatures be just right. So porridge actually has planetary applications, Whoever knew? But that's enough about bears and porridge. The most famous song about porridge must be Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry. Now, in that song, Marley mentions the government yards of Trenchtown, which is a public housing project in Kingston, where he grew up. The lyrics also include references to cornmeal porridge, which is a very popular breakfast food in Jamaica. And he promises to share it with you. No mention, however, is made of whether he'll do the dishes afterwards. Now, for this extra segment, I have a blooper. You need to listen to this. Uko tu sawa. Haya, tunaanza sasa. Acha nitoe sweta. Ndio nikuwe serious. Chamba.
Champ right in.
Check it. Ni check it ama ni chamba.
What's a chamba? Oh,
Took you a while?
So long.
Took you so long.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so you can tell we're usually very unserious when we're recording this podcast. I aim for it to be a fun time for my guests and for you, my dear listener. Now, the last part of this segment is something I reserved for the extra from the episode on Uji. Here is CK presenting me with some very interesting options. All those nice things.
So I don't think maybe he had anything against porridge. It's just
Gruel.
I don't want to say something very controversial. It's like you have the option of eating sushi every day or having porridge every day. Which one would you choose?
I don't like raw fish, so I would go for porridge.
Well, and anomaly over there.
Afadhali ugali.
Okay, if you had ugali over porridge.
That's a very good question. I will answer you later because now I have to think about it. Yeah, that's it for this Matamu Extra. In the next episode of the Matamu 2 podcast, I have a chef who's coming to speak about chicken. You really don't want to miss this, guys. So make sure you're following and you've subscribed to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.